Tupac, Tupac. Now, for all y'all out there that was sitting there talking trash in the comments, talking about Tupac and Suge never had no beef, right? And Tupac didn't tell Suge he was leaving Death Row. No, he was gonna have Machiavelli Records distributed by Death Row. Death Row don't distribute nothing. What are you talking about? Death Row is not a distribution company. Interscope is the distribution company. Universal is the distribution company. Sony is the distribution company. That will be a imprint deal for you knuckleheads out there that don't know nothing. Talking about, oh, it's going to be distributed by Death Row. Tupac had a 3-album deal with Death Row. He gave him a double with All Eyes on Me, and the third would be Machiavelli. Everybody on Tupac's side said that he was leaving Death Row. He was done, right? Especially after the Snoop and Angie Martinez interview, right? Anybody else that, and if you think Tupac was stupid enough to be running around and telling people that he don't trust that he was leaving Death Row, you was just as goofy as anybody else. This is why he's dead today. God bless the dead, right? Because they knew he was leaving. You think he would have fired Reggie if he was leaving? If he wasn't leaving? You think he would have fired David Kenner if he wasn't leaving? Why would he be starting making moves like that? You think that he would have ordered the label if he wasn't leaving? You think he wouldn't have went up to the Death Row and tried to steal his masters, the reels, if he wasn't leaving? Pac underestimated the gang world. That's what he did. Now, if you want to say that, you could be right. But for a lot of y'all say, oh, him and Suge, because I told y'all that him, excuse me, Michael Moore was there when he told Suge that he was leaving, right? But many of y'all, oh man, he never said that. He never said that. Well, thanks to my homie RJ Bond, I had to hit him up and say, yo, I need that. Please send me that interview raw. I don't want nothing from no documentary. And I want the original interview where Frank is sitting there talking to Michael Moore and interviewing Michael Moore about their last days at Death Row and Tupac's last days at Death Row, right? And for all y'all that keep saying, oh, nah, he did the interview at MTV with the Death Row East. He was going through Death Row East. What happened to Death Row East after Tupac died? Nothing, right? Tupac wasn't going to be the CEO of Death Row East. That was supposed to be Eric B, Big D, and all these other dudes along with Pac, right? It could have still went on, right? And where was Tupac when he did that Death Row East thing? In New York. All that is before the Snoop shit. Death Row East, that whole sign thing, that ain't before he had that conversation with Suge. I mean, that ain't after he had that conversation with Suge and told him that he was out, he could have Machiavelli, and they went and got on the jet and went back, and then he did the toss it up music video. And then after that, that was the last time he saw them until Vegas. So all y'all to keep talking about, oh, nah, he was doing, they had the sign. I seen him, he was doing the Deathrow East. That whole thing is before, and then you, once again, you think that he's telling this gangster with a bunch of gangsters around him that he out? When you got the Virginia Slims and the Keisha Coles and all these other people that know that he was out and was told not to say anything. Euthanasia exactly was Pac's label. What chain was he wearing when he got killed in Vegas? Did he have on the Deathrow chain? Sure did. He had on that euthanasia chain, didn't he? Right? Shout out to the Haitians in the building. Stop passe. What up? Okay. Did he have on a Deathrow chain in Vegas? No, he had on his own euthanasia chain, didn't he? Okay, then. And thanks for the super chat, Abdul. Right? So, for all you out there that was talking trash, right? Oh, him and Suge wasn't beefing. He didn't tell Suge that he that he was leaving Death Row. Oh, hold on. I got it. I need to charge this phone up right here. Damn. Because I got a clip on here too. I'm going to play this clip right now. Right? And this is courtesy of Martin Productions. And y'all could go watch Tupac Cover Up. That's where this clip comes from. But I got the raw interview. You'll see some of this in Tupac Cover Up on Tubi, right? Go watch that. I think they got like 4 parts up right now on YouTube as well. Yeah. This one right here goes out to my man Pork Butt. This go out to you, Pork Belly. Won't be getting a flag for this one.
Why would he say he didn't want to go to Vegas with those sellout niggas? Who was he talking about?
Well, he was referring to Snoop and what the comment Snoop had made over the radio while we were in the limo.
This would have been when you guys were in New York.
Correct.
During the MTV
Music Awards.
The week before Tupac was shot.
Right.
Okay. Mike, were Pac and Suge on good terms when he left New York? When was Pac planning on leaving Death Row, if you even know?
I can go in that a little bit. I was there when an argument took place between Tupac and Mr. Knight in the hotel room about what had happened. That was the first time I heard Machiavelli, and Pac's words were, I'm gonna cut out Machiavelli, and when I cut out Machiavelli, I'm the hell up out of here. You got your money. I don't want nothing else to do with Death Row. I'm out. That's how we left that day.
Who was Tupac talking to?
And he was talking to Mr. Knight.
And where were you at?
I was in the room. I was asked to stay, which is sort of strange. On most of the occasions that Mr. Knight deals with Tupac, I am told to step outside the room. On this occasion, I was told to stay inside the room with Mr. Knight while they were arguing.
Now, you said they were arguing. They were arguing in New York. This was during the MTV Awards.
Correct. This was in New York after the MTV Music Awards. Prior to us going home, there was an altercation about what Snoop had done. He was displeased that Tupac was displeased about what had happened. And what he was basically saying was, and this is the first time I've ever heard of Machiavelli before it even came out to be a CD record, that he's going to give Suge all the rights to Machiavelli. He just wants his freedom, and he wants off Death Row.
And Suge didn't want to hear that.
And Mr. Knight was very upset. And they got to yelling at each other back and forth. They confronted each other basically to a face-to-face. I did slide in between them and said, hey, you know, you can't do this while I'm here, or I am going to have to step out of the room. And then they said, you know, then Tupac said, hey, fuck it, I'm out of here. And that's what happened.
Did they ask you to leave prior to this conversation? Why were you in the room? How did you have the privilege of staying in the room with this conversation?
Normally, I am asked in every situation that I can remember while working with Deathrow, when there was altercations, fights, where some type of discipline was going to be passed out during Deathrow, I'm usually asked to step outside the room. But on this occasion, I think Mr. Knight had me stay for the safety of Tupac. I believe that's the reason I was there, because I think Mr. Knight, with me not being there, he would have put his hands on him. He was that upset.
Mr. Knight was.
Mr. Knight was at Tupac, and Tupac at Mr. Knight, but just expressing himself basically because he was displeased what Snoop had said about him.
Okay. When you and the other bodyguards took Tupac to the airport to return back to California, what did Tupac tell you specifically?
The last thing he said to me prior to leaving was, he's not going to be in Vegas. I don't have to worry about him showing up, and don't worry about it because he won't be there. That's what he told me right before we put him on the plane.